Welcome everyone to episode 107 of RawSport. My name is Ahmed Al Houli. We are back with another huge episode with the man himself, a former guest of the show, Mr. Liam Paro. Welcome back, my man. How's things?
Good, brother. Good. Thanks for having me back on the show. It's a pleasure.
Liam, how you feeling, mate? You got a big training camp going on. How's the body? How's the mind? How's the family?
Yeah, no, feeling good. Family's great. That's the most important thing. Everyone's going good. Camp's good. We're 4 weeks out from the comeback. The road to redemption, as we say. The two-time world champion run. So feeling good, feeling motivated, and yeah, just ready to climb that mountain again.
Liam, what does redemption mean to you personally and professionally right now?
Look, it's just getting back what I had. You know what I mean? It's just righting my wrongs in a way. I eventually gone. I want to right that wrong. I wanted the rematch with Hitchens, but look, it's I just need another belt. I think I need the pulling power to get that to happen, and that's what we're doing. It's just getting back on top, back to know where I belong, and yeah, it's motivating though. It's a new fire. It's a rebirth. I'm back loving the sport of boxing again. And I was talking to my coach Alfie a few weeks ago, and I hadn't tasted defeat since 16 years old. So it's been over a decade since I tasted defeat as an amateur. And yeah, if anything, it just motivated me that bit more. It was humbling and grounding, and yeah, I'm ready to go again.
That defeat, you were on a bit of a roll. You beat the boogeyman. Then you had to go back and fight in Puerto Rico against a name that not many know outside the boxing world, right?
Yeah.
How did this setback reshape your mindset? What's it done to Liam Paro as a person inside and outside the ring?
Look, no one likes losing. You know what I mean? I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. And it just wasn't my night in there. You watched the fight. Anyone that watched the first 4 rounds, I remember we're doing it comfortably. I went back to the corner, and Alfie's like, "Mate, we're doing this easy." Um, that's respect to Hitchens and his boxing IQ. He made the adjustment. I didn't, and so be it. Unfortunately, my bad night in an office is very visual to the public eye. And look, I know I can beat him any given day. That day, I couldn't. That was his time, and no excuses. I had a beautiful camp and everything was good. It just wasn't it. That's just like I always go back to God as a plan, and I think I needed that humbling in a way, and kind of just to relight the fire again. It's yeah, it in a way it did take a lot of pressure off my shoulders too. I had a lot of pressure there, and look, it's just made me love the sport. It's made me hungry again because I don't want to feel that no one likes losing. And like I said, it's been a while since I tasted that, so it just reassured me that I don't want that to happen again anytime soon. So we're just up in the gears again, and yeah, we'll go back for another title run.
Did you ever question yourself after the fight?
Not really, no. It was a close fight. 7 rounds to 5 was a split decision. It was
Mm-hmm.
a very close fight. So it was. I know I belong at that level. Um, no, I didn't really question myself at all. I know I belong there, and I know I can beat the guy any other time. So it was just like I said, it wasn't my night, and no excuses. I'll be back. I'll be back better for it. And they say it's a true champion is defined by how he comes back after a setback, and now I got the opportunity to show that with no limit and do the big rebuild and finally bring the big fights to Australia. I've been screaming for it for years and years, and it just wasn't happening. But now we can do it here, become a household name in Australia, and like I said, do it all out of my country that I'm so proud of being out of. So yeah.
What's the biggest lesson you learned from that fight, Liam?
Um Look, that I can take a loss just as gracefully as I can take a win. Yeah, humble in victory, humble in defeat, and it's just the way it is. You know, um, Life doesn't change too much, really. Like as long as I'm back healthy, happy, and go back to my family, that's what it is. At the end of the day, that's the bigger picture: is setting up us a good life in the long run. And look, the only lesson is, I guess, well, I don't know. I learned a lot in that fight. I did learn a lot. There's a few lessons, and but the biggest thing is just it's all part of it. I guess I could just yeah. I don't know. That's a hard one, to pinpoint. But I learn a lot as a person. It's how I'd have handled a defeat. And I surprised a lot of people with that. with how I did, how graceful I was after defeat. But look, it just learned that I can do it all again. I've learned that lesson. I can go back and do it all again. I know I can. I'm confident I can do that.
You've done what not many have done before you. You beat Sabran Matias, who was the boogeyman before you went into his own backyard and beat him convincingly. There's no doubt that mental strength is there.
For
The
sure.
Liam Paro we know is an absolute monster. The question now is moving forward. Where are we going, Liam? What's the goal now?
Another world title. I want to chase down another belt. Like I said earlier, I want to rewrite that wrong. I know I can win. But I just need to take it one fight at a time. And we got a good credible opponent for this next one too. 18-1, Jonathan Navarro, Mexican heritage, comes from a fighting family. Um, Look, it's going to be a good tough fight. So it's just certifying my name back at the top, win by win. Like I was saying, we're not too far off another title shot. All I got to do is keep winning in dominating fashion. And to be honest, I'm quite confident that I could be in the corner for another world title by the end of this year with what's going on in the talks with the Rose brothers and what could happen. So yeah, but like I said, one fight at a time, not overlooking anyone, never have. It's just yeah, back to what we do best.
Does this fight mean a bit more to you because you're back on home soil?
Of course, definitely, and even more than I'm back up in North Queensland. I'm a proud North Queensland. I'm a cowboy, and I thought this fight's in Cairns, but any North Queensland town all comes under the one flag of NQ. We're very proud sports people up there, and I love representing it not only on the world stage but now back at home. You know what I mean? It's exciting, and it does mean a lot. I want to make a statement and keep bringing the big shows up there. So the bigger the better turnout we get, the more shows we're gonna like. Big time boxing will be up in North Queensland, which is exciting. But yeah, I'm just happy and blessed to be able to do it in front of my people now. I've done it on the road for so long to be able to showcase my skill, bring the world class fights to Australia, to my hometown or my home in North Queensland is yeah, that's what it's all about.
What would you say is the? Have you made any adjustments into this new camp?
Look, I'm just back loving the craft again. You know what I mean? Look, it was just it was a close fight, the last one. We always train hard. I come in good, and it was just like I said, it just wasn't my night there. This is a different opponent now. I'm not gonna have to find him. Everyone knows with the Mexicans, they're there to fight, so it's gonna be head to head, having a good crack, which is I think the fans will win the most in this one. So it's the same old thing we do in the gym. Anyone that trains with me knows I train fucking hard. So same old things for us.
Liam, you've been at the top of the world as a world champion. You've now experienced your first loss since the age of 16. What does who is Liam Paro coming into this next phase of his career as a father, as a brother, as a cousin? Like what does it all mean to you now?
Look, it's still got the same meanings. Just set my family and myself up for a better life. That's always what it was. And look, I love fighting for legacy and titles, and that's what I want to do. I want to go down in the history books as one of the greats from this country, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm still got the same goal, same motivation, same everything, same drive. Um, it still remains the same, and I'm just going to show that. Well, this fight, I'm confident that it's going to be like I never left. You know what I mean? It's going to be dominating Liam Paro in the ring. It's going to be good. It's going to be fireworks, and I'm going to earn my spot back at the top again. I'm very confident that I'm going to be two-time world champion. I know it's going to happen.
Liam, the boxing world is seeing a huge shift. We're seeing events happening in Times Square, events happening in all these iconic places in Saudi, talks about events happening in Alcatraz prison. What are your thoughts on all this stuff? Is boxing moving into a better place, or what are your thoughts?
It's hard. It's very hard. It's I'm always a believer if it's bringing more eyes to the sport, it's doing good. But man, I don't know if I'm going to get a bit of hate for this, but it's kind of moving. I feel like to the WWE kind of effect of things, and I just like boxing. I just like the purity of boxing. You know, the old school boxing is the way it is. You know, like when Hagler, Hearns, Duran, all them Leonard were fighting. That's to me is real boxing, and I'm just gonna stick true to it. I'm a fighter, and I'll go by the words "fighters fight." You know, I just want to keep testing myself against the best, keep proving that I'm at the top level. Look, no matter where it is, you know, if so be it if I have to fight in Times Square, just it doesn't matter to me. I just want to keep proving to myself and my people that yeah, I'm going to be around to stay for a long time, and that I am world class.
Do you feel fighters today are sort of load managing because there's so much money being promised to them in their next fights?
Definitely going back to the Times Square card. I think we've seen that a lot. People are too far thinking about the future and forgetting to put on. At the end of the day, it is the entertainment business, and the entertainment goes downhill because they're thinking about money. Which, look, in a way, if you're getting promised big coins, I believe you should not have no deal until that fight's done. So there's one thing on your mind, and that's fighting, and that's fighting your fucking heart out in that fight in front of you. And then look, depending how you go, there's how much better of a deal you're going to get. I think that's how it should work because it's going to push people to fight harder. You know, you put on a better show, you would get a better offer after than a boring fight. That's how I think it should go. But look, it is what it is. I do believe that's a lot of people are not fighting to their full potential for what's next.
Yeah, because we're seeing, like we saw with that Times Square card, where fighters didn't give it everything because they
Mhm.
knew there was a big payday coming up. But I think it's sort of backfired, really, because fans have turned around and said, hang on a second, we were expecting the biggest boxing card of the year or weekend of the year, and we got the total opposite
Exactly
until,
right.
yeah. So as a fighter, do you believe these are the glory day for fighters? There's a lot of money in the sport.
There's a lot of money, but the whole old school fighter kind of persona is going. You
Is
know,
it
like I
trickling
said,
down? Is it trickling down, Liam, or is it staying up the top,
with what?
money wise? Like, uh, is it just the big superstars that are getting paid well, or
No, we've been paid well since I think about 2000. Well, the Brock Jarvis fight. From then on in, I've been making a good wicket. Been setting myself up really well, and I'm fortunate enough now to have a very good deal. This fight with no limits. So hopefully it goes well, and we can continue to work into the future because it's huge, especially for Australia. It's massive, and like I said, I want to build a big name here. So, but obviously, the bigger the fights are, the more you're going to make, and I want to go back to winning titles and taking out the big names.
are you happy with where Australian boxing is at?
Most definitely, I think this is the best Australian boxing has been, especially on the world scene. We've had so many world champions in the past year. And now we're bringing the skill set. You know, no disrespect to any previous champions. We've had the best champions, but Australia's always got seen as just tough, hard fighters. We still have that, but now we're bringing more skill to the table in a way. We're being more applauded and appreciated on our skill sets now as well. So we're slowly catching up because we're always going to be looked down on compared to the UK and the US just from them. But man, look at our top fighters. We've all pretty much won titles, if not in the top five in the world. It's spread across all weight divisions as well. Australia's very strong at the moment, and it's good now. That's what I love being back here is we can keep bringing the world class fights here and keep building it.
Are we going to see, God willing, you win your next fight? Are we going to see a world title shot here on Australian soil?
I'm very confident we can do that here, especially with No Limit and what they've done with Tim Zoo and the connections they have with PBC. No doubt. Like I said, God willing, get this job done and the next one in dominating fashion. And I'm very, very confident that my people, Australia, will get to see me fight for a world title here in Australia, which for me that's a dream come true. That's what I wanted. Been screaming my whole career, and look, I think we're definitely going to see it.
We got to push the Godfather, Angelo Di Carlo, to make it happen.
100%. I'm sure he could pull some strings somewhere.
All right. When all is said and done, Liam, I know we're talking ahead of our time, but you're one of the historically, you are an Australian boxing legend. You're a world champion who's done something that not many have done. What do you want people to know Liam Paro for?
Man, never turned down no offer, no fight. And I think I've shown that. I've been in everyone's backyards, proven that winning world titles, unfortunately losing world titles, but I never turned down no fight. And I'll go back to the thing, fighters fight, and hand on my heart, think I live by that motto. And I'll never back down from no one. And not only that, I've beaten not most of them that people said I couldn't beat. I know what I've got in the gym. I know what ability I have. And yeah, I'm always going to back myself. And me and my coach Alfie, man, he's the best in the world. I've said that for a long time, and we're going to keep proving. We've had that minor setback, but it's just going to make for a better comeback. And you watch what better, more complete fighter that comes back from this. I'm going to bounce back even better. And mark my words, I will be two-time world champion.
God willing. That pep talk that Alfie gave you in that fight against Matthias, I think that'll go down in one of those highlight reels that you see before fights.
Yeah,
That's mate. Don't underestimate that. You guys have done an amazing job together. You are on the path to greatness. The greatest have lost. It means nothing. Tell us about your next fight, mate. What's coming up and where?
June 25, up in Cairns, back in North Queensland. Like I said before, Jonathan Navarro, 19-1 Mexican American, come from a fighting family. It's gonna be good. He used to train with Robert Garcia, so he's no slouch. This is the only fights I'll get out of bed for is top line fights, and this will a good dominating win will catapult us right back up in the ratings, sitting in that seat ready for a world title shot. So yeah, very blessed, very happy to be making my no limit debut. So shout out to the Rose boys for linking up and getting it done. It's some exciting things ahead. I'm very excited, but mostly what makes me most excited is being back to be able to fight in front of my people, my Australian fans. That to me is what truly means the most. They're the diehard fans, and to be able to do it now is very special.
Liam, speaking of fans, what message do you have for your fans and for anyone on their own redemption journey?
Look, just believe in yourself. You can have a lot of critics, but turn them haters to motivators. But thank you to everyone that supported me throughout my career. It means the world to me. I do fight for you guys as well. And yeah, let's be two-time world champion, and let's do it off home soil. So thank you to everyone for the support. I love you all.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Liam Paro, thank you very much for joining us on RawSport. Take care, my man.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.